to our complimentary online lunch event brought to you by Matchboard in partnership with two companies, Cognigy and AudioCodes. Our event is entitled How BPOs Can Create Exceptional Customer Value with Conversational AI, and will run for about an hour and a quarter. During this time, we hope to spark your interest and engage you in the business opportunity around the unstoppable trend of AI in self-service. In terms of today's agenda, we'll have short presentations by Cognigy and AudioCodes, followed by a joint demo, and then we're going to open up for audience questions. So think of your questions as you go along. You can either enter them in the chat room as you think of them, so you don't forget later, or at the end of the presentations, you can unmute and ask them directly. I think I know everyone pretty well, except maybe one, but I am Sharon Melamed, Managing Director of Matchboard. Before I introduce our first speaker, and just while we're waiting for one more, quick housekeeping items. Firstly, we're recording the event. Secondly, if you have internet issues, just use the phone number and passcode provided in the calendar invitation. So just before I introduce our first speaker, I'm going to launch a poll, and you will see this coming up on your screen now. Are chatbots or virtual agents part of your BPO's existing offering? Please vote either no or yes, and with yes, text-based chatbots only, not voice bots. And then finally, both text-based chatbots and voice bots. So I'll just give 10 more seconds so you can cast your votes, and then I'll share the results with you, obviously all anonymous. Okay, so I'm going to end the poll now, and I'm going to share those results with you. Pretty even split, actually. So 31% of BPOs do not have chatbots in their offering. 38% have them, but only text-based, and 31% have both text and voice bots. So that's quite interesting. I'm going to close that one. So now it's my great pleasure to introduce our speaker. First up, Bora Viman, who heads up partner development for Cognigy in Australia. He's based in Sydney. Cognigy is a leader in conversational AI with tier 1 clients around the world like BMW, NTT, Toyota, and Lufthansa. And I just want to say congratulations to the Cognigy team. Just, I think a few days ago, it was announced in the media that they've raised $44 million to fund future expansion. That's US dollars, which is quite extraordinary in this chatbot / conversational AI sector. So over to you, Bora. You're just on mute.
Now I found the right button, so I'm going to present it over. So hello, everybody. Thank you very much for the nice introduction. I will give a brief overview of where especially voicebot-based virtual assistants have developed over the last few years. To give a quick background to myself, so before joining Cognigy, I was actually at Bosch, was the product manager for the virtual agent activities, and that's where I actually got to know Cognigy. I selected the platform there, and probably not many know Bosch is a hidden contact center BPO is actually as well, with quite a number of large customers, especially in the automotive industry, is kind of not very difficult to guess. And I have to admit, a lot of the things that will show now, especially in voice space and speech space, I wish I would have had 3 years ago when I really was very, very strongly involved in all the Bosch activities there. So I'll give a very brief overview of Cognigy. Headquartered in Germany, offices around the world. I'm based in Australia and Sydney, as my colleague Peter will present later on as well, a quick demo as well. We've got customers all around the globe, obviously, very cross-industry, very much a platform-focused company. Something that's very kind of unique and important for us is we're actually the #1 rated conversational AI platform by Gartner customers. So when you look at Gartner peer reviews for the last 12 months, the average, you will see that Cognigy is the number one rated. And that's why we also got that $44 million investment, which is the largest single investment in a conversational AI platform provider, which obviously got quite some nice market attention again for us, as you can imagine. So we're not some small player on the sideline. We're actually one of the absolute key players in that market. We've got obviously large customers, and you can see a bunch of logos here around the world as well. Also, a good list of technology partners, where obviously AudioCodes is one of the number one. We love AudioCodes. AudioCodes is our partner for contact center voice integration, so the thing that helps connect the caller with the actual virtual agent, and their technology is absolutely top notch. So we're a bit of a German company, like with the whole, being excellence and stuff like that in product. And AudioCodes is an excellent partner. We absolutely love working with AudioCodes. They're really. It is nice to work with someone that is really also at the head of the pack in that domain. We obviously integrate with all your large technology providers in there as well. But just to give a quick overview, the big differentiators that we have is to really summarize it up. Our key differentiator in the market is that we accelerate virtual assistant building by at least 10 to 20 times. And I know that I can say that this is not a BS marketing, like marketing brings out something nice. This is actually a number that I experienced myself when I was at Bosch, that I experience all the time when I've worked with partners, and that I experience also with customers. So one of our biggest eyes in Australia is one of our partners. They had built a full payment extension virtual agent with all the multiple options from payment plans, extension, financial help. And I'm not talking about just, providing an answer, go click on the website here, but actually taking payments, updating details, doing all those kind of things in a week in Cognigy. And they were asked by another customer to build the same thing on another technology. And for that, they had to estimate 3 months, even though they knew already the design and stuff like that. Pretty much what needs to happen takes 3 months to build with the other one. You can see that's quite a big of a difference, 3 months to 1 week of their own time. That's one of our key bonuses. And the other one is our flexibility to integrate. And obviously, we integrate with all the Genesis. And if you got your team saying, oh, but we already use whatever the bot builder in Genesis or Amazon or LivePerson, that is not an issue. We fully integrate in those. And even Amazon has brought us into opportunities where customers just need to step up their virtual assistant building just quite a notch further up. And I've done, I think, already 5 or 6 presentations with the Gartner guys as well on our joint value proposition, just for example, with Amazon Connect. So I'll leave it with that. Happy to have another session at some point of time to run through all the other nice, wonderful things that we bring in. But those were the key differentiators from what we bring in as a Cognigy. Now, because I want to bring out that evolution of, what has really happened in the last years, that space, just to quickly summarize. When it comes to especially voice-based virtual assistant, there's 2 parts that are required. There's the speech technology, which is pretty much the ears and the mouth. And then there's the conversational AI, which is basically the brains that, decides on what to talk to the customer, what to say, looks up systems, whatever, in a backend system, creates tickets, does fulfillment, all those other kind of things. So those are the 2 parts that you really need. And I will now go into that. And I will show you first kind of the evolution of speech technology just over the last few years. And here I want to show you just like, this is just 2018, really just like 3.5 years ago on what came out of there. So you have to listen a little bit closely. The first recording is a little bit soft.
Welcome to Cognigy Travel Asia. You're speaking to our automated customer service AI. How can I help you? I want to.
So you heard it. It sounded still pretty robotic. I mean, I remember in 2018, we were quite proud of what could actually be done already, but yeah, it wasn't smooth. Like it was still a bit robotic. Now, 2020, I want to show you how that evolved.
Hi, Alex. Welcome to Ensure. What can I help you with today?
So you can hear that's a huge difference on where the technology jumped forward. I mean, this is now a smooth voice that is not embarrassing to have on the phone. That that is a kind of a pleasure to at least talk to. Now I want to show you the technology that is technically already available, because otherwise I couldn't demonstrate it to you. But that is also, I would say, in this year, next year, that's what you can expect to come out to be really ready also for the contact center space.
Hey guys, I'm Justin. I might sound like a real boy, but I'm actually just an AI. Powered by Cognigy.
So you can hear there's quite a difference. This is now in the space where it becomes hard to identify that this is not a human, especially if you're not listening out for it. If you don't expect that this is not a human. There's the emotional tones, pauses are really good. The pronunciations become really, very good. And I mean, you saw the Voice 2020 already was definitely not on the bad side. That was something, but this is what is happening right now. This is something that not everybody is really aware of on how quickly it's moving. Even I wasn't really aware of that. One of my colleagues brought me that when I was working at Bosch, somebody joined from Google was really saying, "Hey, try it out again," and I saw how the market is evolving. So that's the evolution of speech technology. You really see this is really a step up a lot in the last years.
Hey, so I have a question about my
Hey
voice.
guys.
All of them like to jump forward, like to talk at the same time. Now, the evolution of the conversation AI, so basically the brain part. Conversation AI has been in the enterprise space for probably around already 25 to 30 years. But in the last years, it has definitely jumped forward. So pre-2020, 1996, remember maybe the annoying Microsoft Clippy. There was not much. There was pretty much no AI in there. It was very rule-based, and it was very, very rudimentary what it could do. I mean, even then, I know back in the days in contact center, you started to implement, but it was a lot of effort to make that happen. In 2011 was one of the big years where there was quite a big shift in there. So we had the release of Siri. So people were getting used to, I can actually speak, to my phone. I can speak with a computer, basically. There was quite an awareness raise. And you had IBM Watson going into the beta, in a beta program. People knew it, obviously, from the whole Jeopardy and things like that. So it was really a pickup. There was definitely some AI involved. The really AI space became stronger in it. But those technologies were still built for fairly simple use cases, and they were expensive. I mean, really, like even a basic FAQ question answer kind of thing, that would like $1 million was kind of like your starting price. You would have expected like a $2 million was really like a price tag what you would expect to build those kind of things. That was not always used, and that was maybe just for one or two use cases. It was not a lot that you would get out of it. And then as it happens, that what always happens, obviously, then the technology becomes better and cheaper, and players jump into the market, especially 2014. You've got like the Google Dialogflow, Microsoft Lewis, and a whole bunch of others jumping in. Their focus was still very strongly, mainly on FAQ, on that natural language understanding, that part in the conversation AI that determines of what you actually meant. So the speech part is telling you what did the person say, and now it's like kind of like what did this person actually mean, and just from the words what they said. Again, use case is still very simple, but overall the markets obviously started to really heat up. You've got Google Home, Alexa coming in. You've got kind of the Soul Machine where there's virtual avatars and stuff really coming in, and we're getting the move from what we call like the generation 1 conversational space, now moving in generation 2 virtual assistant space. Then in 2016, a lot of pure players started coming, like in Cognigy, where one of the things that a lot of people found out, and I'm actually quoting a poll from Telstra, is that, look, a virtual assistant, 10 to 30% is the NLU. There's like that NLU part that, the Dialogflow, Lewis, and those kind of part. There's all those other tools that you need to have to actually create a proper virtual agent a virtual assistant that can help, that can do even smart routing, anything like that, knows and can understand context. So that's where those players are starting to come in to really provide an out-of-the-box platform with all the smarts and features that are now really required to build a proper virtual assistant, and really taking this to a maturity level in many ways. And at the same time, the traditional contact center players, the Genesys, the LivePerson, also the Salesforce, if you want to call in there, they're starting to come in, but they're still trying to use the tools that more like the previous generation, they basically woke up like, oh, wow, we really have to play in that space as well and bring this technology in there. It is, look, this is not a humongous surprise. It's like always the same thing in IT technology. The pure players are always at the beginning the leaders. I mean, that's how the space is, and that's where we really right now are in that space. And you will see over the next 5 to 10 years, you will see consolidations happening and stuff like that, and the other players bringing up. But the moment it's not even a bragging. It's like very easy when you just compare the different technology. You can see very quickly on where the differences in quality are. So, well, what does that mean for BPO? What does that really bring me? You know, what are the things? What do I really get out of this? So, like Sharon, she just had a survey in March and found that conversational AI is the hottest topic that basically customers want to hear about. We've got that also Gartner, you know, has the statistic that say they expect next year, so 2022, that at least 15 to 20% of all customer service interactions will be handled by AI. And we hear the same thing. I mean, COVID-19 obviously was quite an accelerator in that space where also more Australian companies started to experiment around. They often build a little bit of FAQ bots and now starting to say like, I want to get serious with this space. So there's quite an interest obviously in this space on what people are doing. What that means for BPOs though is this modern technology that now has come out. You heard it with the voices in the conversation and the brain part, it's the same thing. It's really becoming smarter and easier to deploy. And what that means is it allows you to compete against also low-cost competitors. You know, the ones that bring in those super cheap bids in an RFP with super low-cost technology is still cheaper and obviously allows you to do that. The problem though was that, remember that from Bosch times, is previously it took a while to actually build out one use case and one automation. But so you could maybe do like 3 or 4 use cases a year, 3 months. The ROI took a while. So it was kind of something nice and was a long-term ROI. It wasn't something that brought it out very quickly. With this new technology and with a good team, you can really bring out 20 to 30 full customer service automations, you know, from the product return, payment extension, level 1 troubleshooting. You can bring all those 20 to 30 of those kind of automations use cases easily in a year. That now has suddenly a really significant impact, and you can suddenly really use this technology to compete against those kind of low-cost competitors. And you can expect even if you do an automation use case for where it's assistant agent, expect that you can cut out like between 10 to 50% of calls, call time in there as well. So that is really definitely makes a differentiator in this space. And the other nice part is whenever you start with a virtual assistant on one side of the business, and it usually is end customer facing where it's often like to be started, the interest grows another business unit. The HR comes on, IT department, further digital commerce, e-commerce comes in. So it allows you to extend business because they will also like, how was it done? Can you guys help us as well to make this kind of thing happen? So that's my quick overview, hopefully overview of where the technology has come from, where it has developed, what is happening, but also what is in it for you. With that, back to Sharon.
Yeah, great insights, Bora. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Eamon Kearns, who is the Australia-based country manager for AudioCodes. Who's AudioCodes? They are a leading provider of advanced communication software, enabling enterprises and service providers to build and operate all IP voice networks for delivering unified communications, contact centers, and hosted business services in the cloud and on-premise. Over to you, Eamon. Just unmute, please.
Thank you, Sharon. Finally learned how to get the unmute button. So just checking you can see my screen okay? Yeah, okay, fantastic. So really appreciate the positive comments there, Bora, on working with AudioCodes and likewise with Cognigy. It's good to work with an organization that is a leader in the field of this particular technology. Before jumping into the VoiceBot use cases, I'd like to just put a little bit of context around AudioCodes, like who we are. As Bora mentioned, conversational AI is an evolutionary process or an evolutionary technology rather than revolutionary. And we'll go through a number of these use cases in the next few slides. But going on to like who AudioCodes is. AudioCodes is it's a company that's been around since the pretty much nearly 30 years now, over 28 years. We've been NASDAQ listed since 1999. So we're always on the leading edge of technologies. Our focus is around enabling converged business voice solutions. We participate in all sorts of market segments, from contact centers through to service provider infrastructure. Globally, we've got about 800 staff. Most of them are actually focused in R&D engineering. We work with over 2/3 of the world's top service providers, so phone companies, people like Telstra, Vodafone, things like that, BT. And over half of the world's Fortune 100 companies use AudioCodes technology in their communications infrastructure. Here in Australia, AudioCodes has a team of sales and professional services engineers to support you in delivering solutions to your customer base. So now let's jump into some of the use cases that we've identified for voice bots. One of the first use cases that people engage a voice bot in is what's known as an intelligent virtual agent, or for some people, they refer to it as first level automation. So basically using an IVA or an intelligent virtual agent, you completely offload the simple and repetitive tasks from the human agents to the virtual agents. Obviously, this has the benefit of reducing service costs. It enables you to enhance the user experience, and it actually improves agent satisfaction because they're no longer dealing with the mundane tasks. So since virtual agents are essentially based on software, they're always available, they offer quicker resolution times, and they very easily scale to meet your business needs. During the past year, we've all seen the increased contact center call volumes as customers have migrated to e-commerce and offshore processing has moved back onshore. IVAs have enabled many contact centers around the world deal with this increased volume in a reliable, a cost-effective, and a scalable manner. One of our major customers, a mobile phone company, a global mobile phone company, they've actually deployed an IVA for some of their very routine tasks around mobile telephony, roaming, billing, all this type of stuff. And what they've seen is 80% of their mundane tasks that they've offloaded to an IVA have been completed 100% without human intervention. The result of this is it's freed up the human agent bandwidth, enabling them to focus on the more critical tasks, the more complex tasks, and the more valuable tasks for the customer engagement. So I'd like to share with you now like a topical short video of an IVA handling what would be a mundane task. And for some people on the call, given our prior conversations before we kicked off, this particular video will be more topical.
Hello, this is the local health service support line. How may I help you?
Hi there, I've received a text message from you and I would like to fix an appointment to receive my COVID-19 vaccine, please.
Certainly. Could you please give me your 10-digit community health number?
Yeah, sure, that would be 485-777-3546.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. We currently have vacancies for Thursday or Friday of this week, between 2 and 5 p.m. to administer your vaccination. What time would suit you best?
Well, I'd like to have an appointment tomorrow afternoon, the earliest possible.
Very well, we can give you an appointment on Thursday, January 28th at 2 p.m. Can you confirm?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
Should you need to bring a person to help you, please do so. We will send you your booking reference number right after this call. Thank you for calling the local health service support line. Goodbye.
So as we can see, that was a typical first-level automation bot developed using AudioCodes voice technology together with the Cognigy .ai environment. So moving on from the first-level automation, many organizations will then move into what we call a conversational IVR. And a conversational IVR essentially enables you to replace the traditional, complex, very structured and tedious DTMF-driven IVR call flows that we've had for the last 20 plus years. So conversational IVR brings speech as an engagement model to the user. So the IVR platform is very quickly able to ascertain the caller's requirements and route those calls to the appropriate agent, whether that's a virtual agent or a live agent. Again, this solution saves time, is more accurate in routing calls, and improves the customer experience. The final evolution in the voice bot is to deploy what we call an agent assist bot. And as the name suggests, an agent assist bot essentially helps and guides customer service agents while they handle customer queries. By listening in on the call and providing real-time insights, the bot enables the agent to provide a quicker and a more accurate resolution to the query. This enhances the customer experience and also improves agent productivity. And that's going to be one of the key metrics in any BPO environment, is around improving that customer experience and lowering the cost of the transactions. So in most cases, in a voice assist bot, the customer is not even aware of the AI tool's involvement in the interaction. I'll share another short video now which shows an agent assist bot assisting an insurance claim agent and guiding the agent in gathering key incident information. The agent populates, the assist agent, the bot, populates the contact center agent screen with the key content, all without the customer's interaction.
Hi there, welcome to Insure. How can I help?
Hi, I need to submit a claim. Can you help me?
Sure, what kind of damage are we talking about?
My car body is damaged because I hit another vehicle.
Okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you're okay. When did this happen?
Yeah, I'm okay. The accident happened on the 6th of August when I was in Paris.
Okay, and can you give me the license number for your vehicle?
Sure, it's DTME386.
Perfect. Well, that's all I need today. So I'll submit the claim for you and you'll hear back from us in the next few days.
Amazing. Thanks for your help.
You're welcome. Have a great day. Goodbye.
So we can see in that last video demo that the agent assist bot was prompting the human agent, the customer service representative, on the key pieces of information that they needed to solicit from the caller in order to complete the insurance claim process. And this technology can be pretty much integrated into any contact center environment. So it can coexist and sit alongside your existing infrastructure, enabling you to increase the efficiency of the agents on these complex tasks. Now, but bots are not only restricted to inbound callers. One of the newer evolutions of the bot is to incorporate the bot into outbound campaigns. And this allows you to deliver sophisticated outbound campaigns, as well as just simple callbacks, where you want to call somebody back whose place has been held in the queue. So from now on, you can add voice calls into your CX arsenal. So instead of bombarding customers with text messages or cold calling them, or frustrating and boring them with old school IVR systems, you can just set your bot up to do the talking. Some of the examples of an outbound application include reservations and schedulings. So we think back to that prior COVID application where a reservation was being scheduled, an outbound campaign associated with that same COVID bot could be triggered to send reminders to those particular individuals that they have an upcoming appointment for their first or second vaccine. So voice bots can enable you to create fully automated and self-service outbound campaigns via various telephony channels. And if your bot happens to encounter an old-fashioned answering machine or a fax machine, it's no big problem. The bot is able to detect an answering machine and can leave a tailored message for the particular individual. Or if it reaches a fax machine, we can just simply hang up.
How's the answering machine detection working?
Yeah, so there's a lot of technology that goes in behind the nuances of determining an answering machine. There can be ramping up of when people record their message in an answering machine, whether it's a digital machine or a mobile, it tends to ramp up from a 0 level to a faster level. So we find quite positive detection rates on answering machines.
Yeah, I just thought it might be quite difficult, especially with most people calling mobile phones now with a lot of background noise and the quite long utterances that people use on answering machines. You know, the way that people would answer a mobile could be a lot similar, very similar to an answering machine.
Yeah, and we've there's a lot of sampling that we have to do to really tweak the algorithms, and that's an ongoing capability. Okay. And so basically some of the challenges that we face when we start looking at telephony integration. So if I'm a bot developer, so really this is where my journey starts. I'm sitting over here on the right of the screen. I'm creating my bot and my application using a framework like Cognigy provide, so that we keep it simple, we keep it quick, rather than taking 3 months, we get it done over a weekend. And that's the bot piece. But then we've got the challenge of how do I integrate that bot into the contact center world, like the Genesis, the Ciscos, the Avayas, the Nice inContact, all those closed environments that we use in the BPO world today. We then have to integrate in with some of the text channels like WhatsApp, Facebook, Messenger, web chat, all of those different environments. So for a bot developer, it's a big challenge bringing voice into the bot world. Probably the biggest challenge is around the telephony system integration. Like telephony is a complex world. There's multiple protocols, there's multiple codecs. They're all in theory based on an international standard. But the problem is over the last 20 plus years, every vendor has implemented their own particular flavor of the protocols. So nothing's straightforward. The cognitive world is very similar. It's HTTP-based APIs, and it's a totally different environment to the telephony world, where we're faced with SIP and RTP. The bot developer has to get both of these isolated islands talking together. There are many types of telephony channels that we need to integrate with, whether it's like just the PSTN, like the Telstra Optus, the traditional telephone network, the contact center world, like Cisco, Avaya, Genesis, enterprise UC platforms like Microsoft Teams, Zoom, integrating with those environments. And every one of them has their own unique challenges. So AudioCodes has created a product which we call the AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect Communications Hub. This provides the bridge for companies that want to voice enable their existing bots or deploy new bots while lowering their operational costs. But it's not just about the telephony integration world. The challenge is also adapting the chatbot, a very successful chatbot, to voice. It's not just a simple task of putting a voice channel into the bot. The bot developer needs to tailor the bot to take advantage of the unique capabilities that are provided by the telephony channel. So for example, calling number identification. We know who the device, whether it's a mobile or a fixed phone. So we have a very good idea of who the caller is before we actually take the call. That's not a situation that happens in a text bot world. We may have the caller name already. We may have other data from other interactions in the contact center. So it's important to leverage all of that knowledge to deliver a tailored solution through the voice channel. The bot should also be modified so that it doesn't provide all the non-relevant information that you get in a chatbot world. So we eliminate visual images, we eliminate emojis, we eliminate pictures. So we really got to focus on the voice delivery. Another challenge is the human interaction over a phone call. We're going to pick up background noise. We're going to have people interrupted in the middle of a sentence where they may be distracted by somebody passing by them talking over their shoulder. So these types of things don't happen in the chat world, but they certainly happen in the bot world. So that's why it's very important to work with a tool like Cognigy to simplify those tasks. Text-to-speech and the speech engines, they're critical. So voice quality is probably the most important aspect of a bot. Poor voice quality leads to inaccurate detection, which leads to frustrating customer experiences, and people just get tired of it and give up. So it's very important that we focus on the best quality voice engines for the environment. There are a lot of voice engines out there. So we have the opportunity to select best of breed. So like as Bora showed in one of his slides, we had the 2018 bot or speech, we had the 2020 speech, and we have the future speech. So you have a wide variety of speech engines and voice biometric engines and speech synthesizers available to you in the cloud. So one of the challenges will be building your environment so that you can accommodate all of those different options. Different options will have different benefits, and different environments will have different requirements. For example, we have one organization we're working with at the moment who's deploying a voice bot in Singapore, and only Google is able to provide a speech synthesizer with a Singaporean accented English. So that particular developer needs to use the Google environment when they deploy their bot in Singapore, but in Australia, they may select a totally different engine. Okay, so how does AudioCodes address these challenges? Very simply, we've created what we call the VoiceAI Connect Hub. So this hub acts as a bridge between the bot frameworks over on the right-hand side of the screen, the cognitive services down on the bottom of the screen, so text-to-speech, speech synthesizers, recorders, and biometric, and the voice engagement channels on the left-hand side of the screen. So we're the hub that enables that communication very smoothly to happen. We interface between all the different protocols. Over time, this, as Bora indicated, it's an evolutionary process. Over time, we will add in additional cognitive services. So we're in the process of introducing speaker verification capability. We're working on face recognition capability so that we're able to recognize the individual from the mobile device. We're also working on language identification. So a bot could be a multilingual bot and be able to automatically identify the language of the caller, and then based on that, trigger different speech synthesizers and different recognition, and possibly even different call flows. But going back to AudioCodes a moment, so the VoiceAI Connect Hub is part of what we call an AudioCodes LiveCX offering. So this is the portfolio of products and services that we offer to contact center providers and BPOs. So we focus today around the conversational conversational AI, like virtual assistants, conversational IVR, agent assist. We also provide connectivity solutions for UC and CC, so things like Teams, Cisco CCU, CM, Avaya, Contact Center, Zoom. We provide voice over IP click-to-call capabilities for both web and mobile applications. So if you need to integrate a click-to-call capability into a mobile application, those technologies are available from AudioCodes. And importantly, in the the COVID era with work from home and work from anywhere, AudioCodes provides the capabilities for remote workers, whether it's desktop phones or WebRTC agents, that enables the remote worker, the remote agent, to work from anywhere and with high quality audio back into the contact center environment. Overlaying all of these technologies, we have a range of monitoring and analytics solutions so that you can ensure that you're delivering a high quality of service experience for your customers and the callers that you're servicing. So having said all that, I'd like to turn the mic back now over to Sharon.
Thank you very much, Shaman. That was fantastic. I'm going to run one more poll, which I'll launch now. So we're asking everyone to vote which use cases are of interest to you. You can click multiple. Conversational IVR, agent assist, which is the combination of the bot and the human experience, or a completely automated, intelligent virtual agent solution, automating the service experience for the customer without human intervention. So just really curious to see where everyone's interest lies. Just give a few more seconds. Okay, looks like still some people thinking about it carefully before casting their vote. Okay.
Takes a lot of thought.
So these were the results. Interesting, the complete automation is of highest interest, closely followed by the blended agent assistant, and 20% of people said they would be interested in conversational IVR. Okay, so that was all interesting. And now, before we start to wrap up on everything, we're going to have, apologies, I need to close that. We're going to have a Blitz demo, which is going to be led by Peter at Cognigy to show you how this technology works.
Blitz for sure. I actually can't share my screen at the moment, Sharon. I think I don't have permissions right
now.
Oh,
sorry about that. Give me 1 second. Okay, that should be good.
Try now. Drum roll. It's still not letting me. For some reason.
You should see share screen at the bottom.
Yep, but I click it and it says host disabled participant screen sharing. Each time I click it. Oh, technology.
Try again.
Yes, it just changed. There we go. Great, got it, thank you. Okay, and I don't think you'll need my audio. Okay, can I see my splash screen there?
Yep.
Awesome. Okay. So I'm Peter Nand from Cognigy in Australia here, and I'll be giving this quick demonstration of building a personalized telephone voice virtual agent in just a few minutes here using the Cognigy.ai platform and AudioCodes. Okay, so I've got AudioCodes here. I'm going to start right from the login screen and we're going to go from scratch. So here I am at Cognigy.ai with my credentials. And sorry, Murphy's Law has struck. My screen has just frozen. Okay, it's sorted itself out again. Does this sometimes. Okay, sorry, can you still see that window?
Yeah, it's just frozen, it appears. There we go.
What about now?
Yeah, all good.
There we go.
All good.
Apologies.
Yep.
Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Okay, so we're in Cognigy.ai here, and we have this news and some other information. I'm going to go straight in and create a new project for our demo here. We'll set it to Australian English, mainly for correct dates. We do have some templates in Cognigy, but I'm going to start with the basic template. We're going to add in Voice Gateway. That's going to allow us to connect the AudioCodes telephone technology in with the bot. And I won't add any of these special skills we have. So we're just creating a basic bot. And I'm all ready to chat with that now in the Cognigy environment. We'll just change this welcome just to show you a change. Hi, and thanks for calling the BPO demo. How can I help you? Okay, so we made that change to the bot and we can test it. Oh, I typed that a bit wrong, didn't I? I better correct that or it might sound funny. And we can test that straight away here in Cognigy. So there we are, and we've got that new behavior. This is just a test integration panel in Cognigy, and it just shows the speed of development and test, that it's just a really fast process, which is what we're all about. So I'm going to do something a little bit advanced in a minute in this bot. We're going to add some personalization like Eamon was talking about. So we have an integration with Salesforce. And that's done via our extensions mechanism. So I'm just going to load that up. And that will start to load, and that'll give us some ability to call and get data out of Salesforce. That will take just a couple of minutes to load. So while that's loading in, we'll go over to the AudioCodes VoiceAI Connect online platform here. So I have a phone number already allocated, and this is I'm going to connect this into my bot. You can get onto this platform, you can sign up and allocate yourself a phone number in a matter of minutes. You can also bring your own phone number. So to use your own phone number to connect to a bot, of course, you can talk to our wonderful partners, AudioCodes, and they'll be able to help you with that. To connect in the bot though, let me just click through to the bot details. We just have to connect AudioCodes with Cognigy through this URL, a bot URL. So I'll just go back to Cognigy, and there we go. Salesforce is loaded while we're away. That's great. But if we go into where our voice gateway endpoint is, we just need this little URL from here. So I'll copy that, come over into AudioCodes, paste it in. We can validate it. So the two systems now talk to each other and check everything's good. Yep, it's fine. And I'll now update that. That does take about 15 or 20 seconds to actually, for the number to be callable. So we'll just let it go for a minute. I'm back in Cognigy.ai. This is another view in our platform, obviously a web-based platform. Oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong thing. So this is our flow that we've got at the moment. And I can call that already. Sorry, no, we will give it a few seconds, sorry, because it might not quite be ready yet. So I'll just tell you a little bit about the demo you're about to see. So we're using the Microsoft speech resources, at the lowest level here. As Eamon mentioned, there's a range of choices. So we can also integrate Google, AWS, Nuance, among other engines. So it depends on your preference and depending on where you can get the best deal at any time, really. You can even mix and match, as was mentioned, or change at any time. So what Cognigy provides is this low-code environment, and it spans all of that tech to allow you to build the most sophisticated bots very easily in this graphical platform, as you're seeing right now. And this integration, it's certified and ready to go in your contact centers like Genesys, Avaya, Cisco, and many more. So I think that should have given it enough time. We will call it now. So I'm just going to call it on my hands-free mobile, and you should be able to hear it over my headset.
Hi, and thanks for calling the BPO demo. How can I help you?
Okay, so that's all we've built so far, but as you heard, that's all going already in just a few minutes. What we'll do next is we'll make this a little bit smarter and we'll personalize the welcome. So I'm going to just show you how easy that is. This is our Salesforce extension we loaded. We're going to query some data from Salesforce. And so it's just another node on the board like this. We're just going to pull out my first name so that we can greet the user, which is me, with the first name. And in this case, in a telephone line, as Eamon was saying, the telephone number is very useful to identify the user. And that's exactly what we're going to use here. So in Cognigy, we're going to look up this data. And when a phone call comes in Cognigy, the phone number becomes a user ID. So I'm simply going to look up my first name from the contact data in Salesforce, where the phone is like the user ID, which is the phone number. But of course, to talk to Cognigy, we need some credentials. So this is where we can supply them in Cognigy, Peter's Salesforce. And I just have to put some details in here that prove that I can talk to this Salesforce instance. And so you can get these details from your Salesforce instance. I'm just going to paste them in here. Make sure I highlight. Sorry, I just have to get it exactly right. Obviously, if I make a single error, it won't work. Okay, so that's created the secret, and those details are kept secretly in the platform, so no one can see them. All right, so that should do the query and pull the first name. And now I do that every time. I forgot to save. Apologies. So now I'm going to personalize the welcome. We're going to say hi and my first name. This Salesforce extension exposes another piece of data we can use here, which is Salesforce first name. So that should now say, hi, Peter. And let's change this a bit. Nice to talk with you again. I think I made a typo there, didn't I? Get rid of that S. Probably just to be perfect, we should get rid of that capital. How can I help you today? Okay, so now there's a new personalized welcome. Again, we'll save it and we will call that straight away. Again, just showing the speed of development, and we should be able to hear that now.
Hi, Peter. Nice to talk with you again. How can I help you today?
Okay, so there we have it, a personalized welcome, and you heard my name in there, you know, just naturally in that text. It sounds, you know, perfectly fine to the user. As was mentioned earlier, the speech technology has come a long way. So there we have it. We've built a friendly assistant with a personalized welcome in just a few minutes with the power of, you know, Cognigy and AudioCodes. Sorry, my phone, someone was calling me on the phone. So from here, obviously we've built a very basic bot. From here, you would extend the logic. You could add intelligent routing or the agent assistance, as Eamon was mentioning, or the complete self-service use cases. And you'll do all of that in this you know, low code or even no code environment that Cognigy.ai offers. And so you can build very sophisticated use cases out with this. Okay, so that's the end of the demo. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Peter. You make it look so easy. So just before we move to the Q&A with everyone, I would like to ask Bora and Eamon just to do like a very quick wrap up, and if anyone's interested in this technology and taking it further, how they can do that. So just unmute.
I have to unmute myself, and Aaron, you unmute yourself as well.
Yep, done.
A sec. Here. So we hope that the session had provided you some good value and a good overview of where the space is at. And the demo wasn't that you exactly know how to build it very quickly, but to show you how quickly this can be done in that space. That there's been quite a significant evolution in the last years in this space. And for me, especially the move from something that provided on a very slow long-term ROI to the ability to turn something around very quickly is quite exciting. That was for me, it was a big challenge as well when I was at Bosch. And I think the opportunities to really use this now kind of like as a feature or weapon against also the low-cost competitors' bids to really show and make your agents far more effective, and hence, you know, make your value proposition much stronger. I hope that really came across in this kind of thing. And always a range of use cases from implementing, you know, the smart, truly voice-based IVRs, intelligent assistant, full automated routing, all those other kind of things. Good. So that was my very quick summary of how it is, and I hope that was good and enjoyable.
I'm going to depend on you, Bora, to do slide changes for me. I'll just be the audio input. So basically, how are we here to help you? Well, collectively, AudioCodes and Cognigy, we've got the local resources in country. So we've got technical resources, people like Peter and some of his peers on my side of the organization. We've got the marketing resources and the sales resources who can assist you in discovering opportunities, presenting to potential prospects, responding to RFPs, and building demos. So the VoiceAI connector that Peter showed, sourcing the AudioCodes phone numbers in, that's a readily available service. Anybody can sign up to that, get a small credit, get a phone number, and you can connect it to your Cognigy bot and be up and running in no time at all. Peter, I think, holds a record probably of sub 10 minutes for getting a bot functional, but we'll give everybody else a little bit longer. So from a local data compliance standpoint, all of the solutions are cloud-based, hosted in Australia, so in Azure or AWS, or they can be deployed in private data centers. So there's no concerns about like GDPR and data sovereignty from a local standpoint. We can go to the next slide, Bora. One of the things we'd like to offer participants in today's seminar or today's virtual lunch is a discount on what we call a proof of value. So many organizations have what they call a proof of concept, but we prefer to look at it as a proof of value. So really, this is very close to a full-blown engagement from AudioCodes and Cognigy. It will encompass scoping the project, creating a proposal, and all of the professional services around that. And we will have that available at a discounted price of $15,000 for participants who have been on our lunch webinar here today. And that offer will be valid until the end of September. And if you want to find out more details or you want to engage with us, Bora's name, email is there, as is mine. That's all, Sharon. We'll turn it back over to you.
Okay, so that brings our event to a close. Thank you for hanging around to the end, everyone who did, and for giving up your time today. We'll be sending around a short survey to get your thoughts. Wishing you a wonderful day ahead. Stay safe, stay well, and see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone.
To everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.